time, the economy was a lot better, interest rate was a lot lower, and I used to be able to get out of it just about what I paid for it, invoice.
After a couple of thousand miles?
Yeah, a couple thousand miles, 2,000 to 3,000 miles.
In 1971, a Chevy Impala with air conditioning was selling for around $3,400. Air conditioning cost $280. Tonight, the same Impala's air conditioning cost $625 for a total sticker price of just over $9,000. The surge of inflation has also caused car dealers to sell in volume with lower profit margins on each car.
The difference is that it is so competitive nowadays. You know, used to, you can make $300, $400 on a car and think nothing much of it. But nowadays, if you're looking at $200 over invoice, that's a good deal.
10 years ago, I bought my wife a 71 Cadillac, the big one, for $8,000. It has everything.
And today?
The same one today would run about $26,000, $28,000.
Price of wages went up for people producing these things. The price of freights went up because of the increased fuel cost. Just everything's going up inflation-wise, and everything, so it's all passed on to the consumer.
This month at the store where we shop, prices took their biggest jump this year. In the produce section, lettuce alone went up 40 cents, from a sale price of 19 cents in April to 59 cents in May. Celery was close behind, up 20 cents over the last month. In the meat section, chicken climbed 10 cents, as did frozen orange juice. And in the dairy section, eggs were up 16 cents from a low 65 cents in April to 81 cents this month. Wine was also up 16 cents. Laundry soap climbed another 6 cents this month after a 30-cent increase in April. Only 2 items dropped in price. Tomatoes went down 30 cents and sugar dropped 16 cents. That brought this month's total to $30.21, $1.04 more than in April. Phyllis Palacio, KOOL News 10.
CTM, cash to mortgage. That's how a lot of people buy and sell homes, because the homes are simply more affordable. You see, a lower interest rate on an older loan and therefore a lower monthly payment are obtained when a buyer assumes a seller's loan. The news that 2 of the state's larger savings and loan associations, First Federal and Home Federal, no longer will be allowing assumptions of their loans is hard for the people in the home building industry to swallow.
Instead of being able to assume that cash to mortgage loan of 9%, they would have to go in at the present conventional rate, say a 15.5%. And the difference between a 9% and a 15.5% is probably $300 or more per month in payment. 80% of our sales are from people who have sold their existing homes and moved up into a new home. Now they're going to have that much harder time to sell those existing homes because of the increase in cost in order to move up to new homes. So our sales will be reduced as a direct result of it.
The reason for the phase-out of cash-to-mortgage loans is they cost too much when a lending institution is getting 8 or 9% interest on an assumed loan and paying out 12 to 15% on such things as certificates of deposit. Both First Federal and Home Federal are enforcing a due-on-sale clause under their federal charters. Most other Arizona savings and loans are state-chartered. Still, though, realtors are also concerned, wondering if this isn't the beginning of a trend.
The days of the 30-year fixed-term mortgage are gone. That renegotiable loans that are basically rewritten every 3 to 5 years are what we had better get used to in the future.
It's certainly going to make it a lot more difficult for people to buy a home.
Yes, it is.
And therefore, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to make some money.
Much more difficult to be in the real estate business, much more difficult to sell your home. And for that person that really has to sell, that's the one that's going to get hurt badly.
Melcher says it seems a little unfair that one segment of the economy, the borrower, has to take the brunt. Metler adds, this puts another coffin nail in the American dream of owning a home. Mike Era, KOOL News 10.
The FAA says these cans of Mace are classified as hazardous chemicals and dangerous weapons. Anyone being caught carrying one of these aboard a plane can receive a punishment of up to $25,000 and 5 years in jail. The danger is that the cans are compressed gas, and cabin air pressure can cause them to explode and burst into flames. For that reason, the airlines are now confiscating all Mace containers at security checkpoints. It's a big problem. Last month alone at Sky Harbor Airport, 578 cans were taken from passengers. It's not that they're trying to smuggle it aboard, is it?
No. It's just that they're unaware of the fact that they're not allowed to take it through security.
Are you aware that there's a regulation that says you can't carry mace aboard a plane?
No, I don't think I was aware of that. No, I wasn't aware of that.
No, I wasn't aware of that.
You didn't notice a sign at the ticket counter that says you can't do that?
I didn't see anything.
The signs are there. It's just that not many people take the time to read them. How easy is it to enforce this rule?
It's made very difficult with the smallness of the cans, and with people coming through. They, like I say, they don't know that they can't take them, and we have to find them at the security when they come through.
It's not just mace and tear gas that are a problem. All aerosol cans present a potential hazard aboard a plane, including hairspray. But for now, only cans of mace and tear gas are being confiscated. Phyllis Palacio, KOOL News 10.
Archaeologists say the Phoenix Hohokam site is the largest urban prehistoric site in the country. Perhaps 1 million people lived here prehistorically. Historians are still fighting the Papago Freeway in the courts based on that reason alone. The area involved is between McDowell and Roosevelt, Central and 7th Avenue. Architecture here is turn of the century. There's the Ella Shackelford House, built in the early 1900s, and the oldest Mormon church still standing in Phoenix, now the home of the Arts Council. Those concerned about the buildings say they should have been part of the original environmental impact statement.
If I gave a graduate class of mine the task of designing a freeway that would destroy as much as possible, the only A in that class would be the route that's been selected.
An historic architect will now be paid $25,000 to study the area, with the federal government paying most of the fee. State transportation officials say they had already made special plans to take care of 13 historical houses in the area. Even if the whole district is placed on the historical register, they say it won't be a problem.
They're not insurmountable obstacles. We have every confidence that we can construct this freeway in this location as the public desires.
But the opposition cites court cases that stopped similar construction.
They must go elsewhere. They must go elsewhere if there is a prudent and feasible alternative. That's what the law says.
Wiener says the state has selected 6 feasible alternatives, but state officials say should they have to abandon their present choice now, the state's economic loss would be hard to imagine. Kim Hawkins, KOOL News 10.
Quite simply, a video disc is a record that has a picture to go along with the sound. RCA introduced its $500 video disc system into Arizona this weekend. The record slides from package to player without the owner having to touch it. A needle plays the disc, and the picture quality is better than a video cassette. But RCA doesn't expect disc sales to kill off cassette sales.
I think they're going to survive side by side. Matter of fact, the first video disc unit that I've sold was to a customer who had bought a video cassette recorder. He plans to use this as his player and to buy movies with this, and use his video recorder to use it as a time change machine to, if he's not home, to view a certain program, he can record it and then play it back when it's more convenient.
Meanwhile, Magnavox introduced its video disc system into Arizona nearly a year ago. Instead of a needle, it uses a laser beam to play the records, which Magnavox says reduces wear and tear on the records. But this system also costs about $200 more than RCA's. And RCA says record wear from the needle is minimal.
It only tracks at 1/65,000th of a gram, so there'll be very little record wear. RCA has already signed up Zenith to market their same system. And I've read also that some of the Japanese manufacturers have units developed also that'll be compatible with the RCA system.
Movies on video disc cost around $20, and it's a playback system only. Unlike a cassette, you can't record TV shows onto a disc. In addition, the 2 major systems now available are not compatible, but both companies are saying video discs are going to be the biggest thing in TV since color TV. John Kane, KOOL News 10.
Glendale city officials say they expect to issue a cable TV license to an operating company by September 1981. That citywide, non-exclusive license will go to one of the 15 or so companies that will bid for the job. And the first Glendale customers, it is expected, will be hooked to the cable system by March 1982. There are those who say Glendale has lagged behind Phoenix and its other satellite cities in the race for cable. And according to the city manager's office, the waiting has not been without good reason.
The city has waited this long, number one, to try to learn some lessons from the problems other cities have experienced. And number two, the technology has changed drastically in the last 12 months.
The lessons Glendale has learned, says Tim Ernster, have been useful in preparing the city's own cable TV ordinance. Lessons over licensing disputes, construction-related problems. For example,
whenever you cut a street, you can never repair it back to its existing situation.
The ordinance has been designed, says the city, to make the transition to cable as painless as possible for the people who live in Glendale. The ordinance the city has drafted will come up before the City Council in session this evening. A January 12th public hearing date will be set. The ordinance will then be sent out for public comment. City officials are looking at late January for council approval of the final ordinance. Mary Hughes, KOOL News 10.
Department stores. They seem to have just about everything from clothes to vacuum cleaners, trash cans to toilet seats. And upstairs at this Montgomery Ward store, next to the general offices and beauty shop, you'll now find a dentist's office. Just walk in, no appointment needed. It was a group of dentists who convinced the store to give them the space, and now they're seeing close to 40 patients a day. And convenience seems to be the big reason why.
It certainly saves a trip, special to a dental laboratory by coming here while I'm doing my shopping around the mall.
So you really think it's much more convenient?
Oh, I do, yes. In fact, I hadn't been to a dentist for a couple of years.
You can get everything here from dentures to fillings and root canals, and all for a lot less money, claims McGuire. Getting your teeth x-rayed, cleaned, and checked here costs $20, he says, compared to $40 or $50 at regular offices. And eventually, you can even charge it all on your own Montgomery Ward account.
Now, some dentists may object that this kind of setup is just too much merchandising, but a spokesperson at the Arizona Dental Association told me as long as quality care is being given, then department store dentists will probably have little opposition. Susan Taylor, KOOL News 10.